Hello and a very warm welcome to Dubai, the most populous city in the United Arab Emirates and one of the fastest growing cities in the world. It's a city where you can see reminders of the ancient past alongside spectacular modern architecture, including the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. Situated on the southeast coast of the Persian Gulf, Dubai is also a city that for a fourth consecutive year is playing host to the sport of badminton's end-of-year finale, the Dubai World Super Series Finals. This year, as with the last 3 years, all the action over all 5 days is taking place here at the Hamdan Sports Complex, a spectacular and fitting venue for badminton's end-of-year championships. This is the 10th edition of the Super Series Finals, which were first staged in 2008, and it's an event that all the players desperately wanted to qualify for because this event is the culmination of the 12 tournaments on the MetLife BWF World Super Series, the elite tier of tournaments throughout the year. And it's the ranking points gained from just those 12 tournaments which have determined the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines: men's and women's singles, men's and women's doubles, and mixed doubles as well. So 63 of the world's very best players from 11 different countries are here in Dubai, all competing for a share of the $1 million prize fund. Well, as far as the tournament format is concerned, the 8 players or pairs in each of the 5 disciplines have been divided into 2 groups of 4. Everyone plays everyone else in their group, and then it's just the top 2 from each of those groups who qualify for the semi-final knockout stage. Semi-finals tomorrow, before all 5 finals on Sunday. So with it being day 3 of competition, it's the last of the group round robin matches, so it's the last chance to secure a place in tomorrow's semi-finals. So we've got 6 matches for you this afternoon, and we're starting with men's doubles, and Takeshi Kimura and Keigo Sonoda, last year's beaten finalists. They've won both of their matches so far. They were up against the 2016 European champions, Mads Conrad and Mads Curling. Then we've got women's singles, which is actually a repeat of last year's final. Tai Tzu Ying, the defending champion and 2-time winner, against Sung Ji Hyung. Now, ironically, this will decide who tops the group, but it won't be either of these 2 players. Then we turn our attention back to men's doubles once again. We've got the current world number 1s against the former world number 1s, Gideon and Sukamolio, winners of 6 Super Series titles this year, up against Lee Chun Hui and Lee Yu Chen, the All-England finalists. And then it's men's singles, and Chao Tianchen against the current world champion and world number 1, Victor Axelsen, who also happens to be defending champion here. This is a straight playoff. Whoever wins this match will qualify for the semi-finals. Then it's women's singles, and both players in this match have already qualified for the semi-finals. But who will top the group? Will it be Yamaguchi or the world and Olympic silver medalist Pusala Venkata Sindhu? Then we finish with men's singles, and the number 1 seed Son Wan Ho up against Lee Chong Wei, the 4-time former champion, who's already qualified for the semi-finals. So the players are already waiting in the wings, waiting to get on to court the last of the group matches. And we've got the number 5 seeds Takeshi Kimura and Keigo Sonoda up against the tall Danes Mads Conrad and Mads Curling. Now this match is coming from Group A, and it's all very complicated indeed. Because, as you can see, Kimura and Sonoda currently on top of the group, having won both of their matches, but the Danes could still qualify. It all depends on what happens in the last 2 matches within this group, so it's all very thrilling stuff and an awful lot to play for. So, the players are ready, and let's join our Master of Ceremonies, Howard Bentham.
This is the Dubai World Super Series Finals, Men's Doubles Group A. Let's welcome the players. First up, the World Championships bronze medalists and last year's runners-up from Japan, Takeshi Kimura and Keigo Sonoda.
Beaten finalists here at the Super Series finals a year ago. In the interim period, they have won the Australian Super Series title.
And give it up for their opponents, the number 6 seeds from Denmark, Mads Conrad Petersen and Mads Peter Kolding.
Mads Conrad and Mads Kolding reached the final of the last Super Series tournament prior to the Super Series finals, the Hong Kong Open. So as the players make their way onto court, time for me to introduce former head coach of the Danish national team, Steen Pedersen, and you and I were discussing on our way down to the stadium the complications of this group and who all could qualify for the semi-final stage.
Yeah, it's all very complicated, isn't it? I read in the Danish newspapers here that the Danes are not thinking too much about that. They're focused on winning this match.
Yes, and I think that's the only way to approach it. Now, just look how tall Mads Kolding is, towering above his opponents. David Wong from Malaysia is our umpire for this one, so his first duty, the toss of the coin. Mads Conrad actually looks quite short standing next to his partner, but he certainly isn't. He's 6'1". Well, for the Danes, they're making their third appearance at the Super Series finals. For the Japanese pair, their second. So there is Keigo Sonoda, 27-year-old from Yatsushiro City in Kumamoto. And he and his partner, as you can see, have been as high as number 2 in the world ranking. A total of 4 weeks at a career high number 2, but the number 5 at the moment. Takeshi Kimura is also 27 years of age, born in Karatsu City. And he and his partner have had a very good year, winning the Australian Open in Sydney. And they've had a very, very good Super Series finals so far because they've won both of their matches. On Wednesday, they beat the number 3 seeds, the winners of the Indonesian Premier Super Series, Lee Chun-Hui and Liu Yu-Chen, in 2 straight games. Both of their matches won 17 and 17, which is quite extraordinary. Yesterday, they beat the number 1 seeds, Gideon and Sukamuljo. That was a big upset as far as the form books were concerned, but my goodness, didn't the Japanese pair play well? So here is Mads Conrad. He will turn 30 next month, and he and his partner are enjoying their 13th consecutive week at a career high number 6 in the world ranking. They also finished the year on the Super Series standings as number 6, hence the number 6 seeds for this tournament. Now look at that, 2 meters and 5 centimeters. That's just under 6'9". When I say he's a giant of a man, I'm not understating it. He also will have a birthday next month, and he also will turn 30. They were semi-finalists last year, where they lost to their opponents of today. This year, they lost their first match on Wednesday against the number 1 seeds, Gideon and Sukamuljo, in 2 straight games. But yesterday, beat Lee Chun-Hui and Liu Yu-Chen in 36 minutes. So both of their matches won and lost in double quick time. Now this will be the 9th meeting between the 2 pairs. And of the previous 8, as you can see, honours are shared. The last time they met was in the quarter-final stage of those World Championships in Glasgow. 54 minutes for that 21-13, 23-21. In fact, the Japanese pair won the last 2 occasions that they have met. Now there's David Wong that I was telling you about. Service judge Ivanka Pukini from Croatia.
Ready, guys?
So the last final preparations, the practice of the low serve.
Peterson, listen. Peterson.
The umpire just making sure he's got the right player serving. And it is Mads Colling.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Takeshi Kamura and Keigo Sonoda, Japan. And on my left, Max Conrad Peterson and Max Peter Kolding, Denmark. Max Peter Kolding to serve to Takashi Kamura. Love all. Play.
So the last of the group matches. It's Group A encounter. Well, Steve, you were particularly impressed with Keigo Sonoda yesterday. There he is. We talked about him being a fidgety player, and we talked about the strapping on his arm, but my goodness, he was sharp yesterday.
Yeah, he was really playing well. Dominant force from the back court and played well on the front court as well. And that's a little bit worrying for their opponents, I think.
Service over. 2, 1.
Oh, goodness, well, that's where we usually see Kamara coming forward to the net like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Chen Jinfan, Jia Yifan, China. And on my left, Shiho Tanaka, Koharu Japan.
Oh, that's a lovely change of pace.
4, 1. Service over. 2, 4.
Important for the Danes not to be run over here in the beginning of the first game. That was what happened in the first of these group matches when the Danes lost.
Service over.
Called
Body.
above
It's
the
high.
waist on Mads
5,
Colling.
2.
Good defense. Right idea. Now, Steve, I doubt very much if you've had an opportunity to talk to Kenneth Jonassen, the Danish coach, or indeed either of your players, because you've been so busy sort of working out all the different permutations on who could win the groups. But if you were, there's Kenneth, if you were advising the Danes in this match, having seen the way the Japanese pair played yesterday, what would you be advising?
Yeah, definitely not challenge them in the flat game. It would be important to reach the shuttle early and block it if you can, and then see, like they do right now, see if they can stand their ground in the defense a little bit and make the backcourt player from the Japanese pair work a little bit before trying to do something. So basically open up the court a little bit, so you play on the whole court instead of everything is happening around the mid-court and net-court area.
Good flick serve.
4, 6.
Service error.
7.
Got deflected by hitting the top of the tape.
It's something that he has to be really careful about, that Mas Colling trying to play past Takeshi Kamura very, very quick with the racket on the front court.
Good anticipation too. So it's not just the quick racket work.
Yeah. And good services, because he
Yeah.
can afford to sort of stand fully upright. Watch what's happening.
Oh, that's great judgment. Could have played that, chose to leave it and ran it long.
4.
Good defense initially from Kamara.
And it all started with the service return, where he sort of blocked it and took the pace out of it.
10.
He has a chance to play from above the tape.
Service over.
So to the mid-game interval with a 6-point advantage. And they really have started very quickly indeed. Just 6 minutes of play.
セービスから本当に自分の集中の先自分のタイミングしてからこっち大体ねでまあ前の人も集中サービスから前に集中するだけ後ろに信じてね今後ろきれいあなたの止め方止め方きれいがラケットで待ちやそこがそのまま行ってね迷いしない
Går de mange gange, der stopper den af foran.
Så er klar med ketchup.
Ja.
så husk her der den her vej op så vi kan lægge lidt mere pres på
Don't know if you managed to catch any of that, Steen.
Just a tiny thing at the end of the coaching, that they should be ready with the rackets. And that's, of course, obvious. Played extremely fast yesterday when we saw the Japanese pair beat the male players in the year. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Sukamori and
Gideon.
Gideon, convincingly.
Yeah.
Totally smashed his racket, I think. Tsunoda.
Yeah. Clash of rackets there.
And to give you just a little bit of information about these scenarios here, then we can say that if the Japanese pair wins just one game, they have definitely qualified for the semi-final stage. And in order to have a chance of qualifying, the Danes need to win at least one game.
But then it's dependent on
6.
what happens in the other match.
A lot dependent on what happens in the other matches.
Yeah.
Service over. 13. 6. Service over. 7,
I
13.
like his creativity, you know. Takeshi
Yeah,
Kimura.
yeah.
I know he made the error there, but he's looking for the
You
gap.
could see that there was a big gap in the Danish
Yeah.
stands there. And they've started out exactly like they finished yesterday, the two Japanese players.
Service over.
They're the
14.
ones, up until
7.
now, I haven't seen all the matches in the tournament, but I've seen quite a bit of them, and they're the ones that have surprised me the most.
10-5.
Yeah, good placement. Here again, he's
15,
thinking about where is the
7.
weak spot across the body of Colin to go towards his right hip. And he's so tall, it's so desperately difficult to get his frame out of the way to give himself the freedom
And
to play the shot.
And he's also being shot on his way back, so to speak. So wow, that's fast. He tried the right thing, that's Colin, but
16,
the
7.
shot quality was not enough to make it difficult for Keigo Sonoda. That one's too high.
Play.
Well played.
Service over.
Yeah, the return of serve just about perfect. Too
8,
fast for the
16.
front court player to intercept, but landing in front of the rear court player.
Service over. 17, 8. Eighteen, 8.
Good rally. Very good rally. Let's go wide. Yeah.
19, 8.
I'm not seeing anything at the moment that's the Danes are doing that's really hurting the Japanese pair.
No. They haven't come up with any viable solutions.
On left.
Service over. 9, 19. Service ball
Service
call.
fault called. Racket
Service
not
over.
pointing in a downward direction, says our service judge.
Calling, 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 please come here. Calling. Come here, please.
No, we've discussed it a few times over the last few days.
No argue.
It's only because he's
No
so fast.
argue.
No argue, I'm gonna argue.
20. Game point 9.
I actually tend to agree with the service judge on this one.
Game.
Opening game, 21-9 in a little over 14 minutes.
First game won by Takashi Kamura, Keigo Sonoda. 21-9.
いいよね、そこがあなたは分かってね、自分のサーブ先ね、サーブからここ待ってね、で後ろのカバー、これは秋にね、もっとあなたのこの持てるもの、もっと安定のプレーね、スピードを出してコントロールすぐじゃなくて。
Prøv lige at lade dem overspille jer en gang, hvor I ikke, eller trykke igennem jer en gang, hvor I er kommet så langt frem, at I ikke kan nå den. For jeg synes, vi står for langt tilbage og tager imod.
Jamen, vi bevæger os bare.
Ja.
Altså, det går for langt.
Men hvis I skal stoppe af, så skal den have en vinkel. Den må ikke komme lige på. Og den skal ligne et tryk. Men sammen vi begynder at spille den langsomt. Men vi skal stadigvæk, ligegyldigt hvad, afsted på de saver. Og jeg ved godt, de er saver godt. Men hvis vi ikke, så må vi en gang imellem lave stopbold, når vi er afsted. For at mindst at få løbet, eller de har lyst til at prøve at fiske den rundt om os.
Ja. Vi prøver at hakke lidt på ham, ikke? Altså, så man vælger lidt i op.
Og så lidt ligesom du gjorde i den duel der, så må vi...
Vi kommer igennem, når vi får op, vi har bare ikke gået den særlig meget.
Jamen, prøv her. Ind i hovedet på ham, dernede med ham hele tiden. Bare hold ham med det samme. Hvis han
Præcis.
dropper, så holder vi den kort. Hvis...
Når vi har de der lidt længere dueller, så skal vi mærke.
Ja. Men lige igen, jeg har brug for, at 2 og 4 de bliver dumpet under nettet højt med bid.
Well, if you're a Danish fan, I should think you'll be a little bit concerned about the body language, especially of Mads Kolding during that 2-minute timeout. You could see he was absolutely seething.
He's warming up again a little bit, Keigo Sonoda.
Play.
So I suppose the coaching there, because Mads Kolding just seemed to stand very slightly away from them, but there was no sort of animation from the Danish players at all. So what was Coach Jonasson saying to them?
Yeah, it was just watch this challenge
Takashi
here.
Kamura, challenges called in.
Very interesting, because I think you might be right, Kimura. That was one of those sliding shots that are terribly difficult to judge. No, Landsman got it right again. Jonasson was emphasizing, it was actually a good round the first one here for the Danes, because he was emphasizing that second shot or the fourth shot,
Service over.
both of them preferably, needs to be soft shots that goes below the tape. I think that's really, really important. And then he wanted the Danes to come forward in their defense, so they had more possibilities. Rather have the Japanese kill it directly on a smash, with the Danish pair standing far forward than surviving 2-3 shots, but ending up losing the rally anyway. And I think that's exactly the case, that you've got to challenge quickly in the defense. But they've returned a bit better here in the first 2 service returns. So let's see if they can come back and put some pressure on the Japanese pair. So far, no one has been able to do that in this tournament here in Dubai.
Well, after the rally, Mads Kolding just turning and pointing towards the back line, asking the coach, would that have gone long? First one he played. There's the point.
over. 3-2.
The Danes also said they felt that they actually was able to win it from the attack. When they got the attack, they just got it very, very rarely.
Oh, this is good work. Good work from Keigo Sonoda.
Service over.
Connor, jeg synes, det er fint nok. Det er godt. Du har ikke andre chancer der.
3-all.
Bronze medalists at the World Championships in Glasgow, this Japanese pair. Third men's doubles pair from Japan ever to medal at the World Championships.
Endo and Hayakawa, have they got a bronze medal?
They did in 2015 in Jakarta, and Ikeda and Sakamoto in 2007 in Kuala Lumpur.
Service over.
They're playing better, the Danes, now, mainly due to good service returns. So now they have to solve the situation where they serve themselves, serve really well, or a really, really good placement of the third shot.
Service
Great
over.
return.
5-4.
Just turned that wrist at the last moment to play that deep into the forehand corner.
Service over. 5-all. Six, 5.
Deceived by the flick serve, but still quick enough to hit the smash, and then followed that smash forward to play from the front of the court.
Peterson.
That's amazing.
They're really doing an excellent job of being ready and following up the two Japanese players.
Good return of serve. And that stat was interesting. 4 flick serves by the Danes, none from the Japanese pair so far.
Yeah. And that was emphasized by Coach Jonas, and also in the interval that we have to reach the services high. I'm not sure if the Japanese pair, they will start to flick when they realize that Danes are going a lot more for the short services.
Well, I thought initially that the Japanese pair were going to challenge this. That was definitely in.
Service over.
It's a lovely little touch from Kimura. very alert. Quick thinking as well.
Thank you. Encore, please.
Definitely making sure that they won't get cold whilst the Danes are toweling down.
7.
That's maybe the best chance, the Danes, to towel down a lot and hope that the Japanese will freeze.
Or wear themselves out with
Yeah.
all the fidgeting.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Service over. Nine, 7. Service over.
The initial drive from the tall man, Colling,
And that's wrong.
it's too hard and too flat.
Yes, it's just wrong. If he plays like that against Sonoda and Kimura,
Yes.
they're going to get punched in the nose
Yours
every
to
time.
receive. You stand wrong already. 8, 9.
That was variation.
Service over.
Yeah, they've played tactically very disciplined in the service situation,
8.
blocking it, getting the Japanese pair to lift. Excellent.
Very, very good work
8.
from Mads Conrad.
Interval.
And the Danes have a 3-point advantage here at the mid-game interval of the second game.
Det er noget med at acceptere det lort, der kommer en gang imellem.
Ja, men ved du hvad, det er fordi, det skal være lidt kompromisløst, for ellers så spiller vi for langsomt. Ja. Okay, stadigvæk. Langt frem at stå. De få overspil, de er fuldstændig ligegyldige. Ja, ikke? Hvis de kommer, så investerer vi i benene. Under nethøjde, under den, med bid i. Ja, ikke? Ja. Afsted på saverne. Afsted på saverne.
Helt kort en gang imellem, det er med os.
Ja.
Helt kort. De står meget og venter hele tiden.
More reinforcements.
Yeah, they were doing the right thing, and they have to move and they have to overcover the front court. And sometimes it looks really, really ugly, but that's because it has to be no nonsense, no compromise playing style for Danes if they want to come back in this match.
In hindsight, he should have left that
Service over.
to go through to his partner,
9,
Colin.
11.
Both leaving it for the other.
10, 11.
Absolute perfect placement. Because these Danish players have been playing together for some considerable time. In fact, they played together as juniors and won a silver medal at the European Junior Championships of 2007. 9 years on from that, they won the gold at the senior version of the European Championships. They did go their separate ways for a while. They both teamed up with more experienced players and learned a bit more on the World Tour. Mads Conrad's in fact or reached a Super Series tournament final with Jonas Rasmussen, 2011 Malaysian Super Series.
Service over. 12,
Yeah, with Colin
11.
in a period focusing more on the mixed doubles with Camilla Ricciut.
Play.
It's encouraging here for the Danes that they're the only ones in this tournament that have been able to lead at the interval against the Japanese pair. All the other 5 games they've played, the Japanese have been in front at 11. So they've done the first part of the job of coming back in this match. I think it's very, very important to keep up the spirit here. There's no room for worrying about mistakes or feeling sorry. It's about making enough good shots to get back here. That's what it's about for the Danes.
Yeah. It was that spirit that bothered me in the opening game, and even in the interval between the first and the second game, the lack of spirit.
Yeah, and there was this, the service faults were called, and they were moaning a little bit. There's no time for moaning now.
Yeah.
They have to focus on playing well, because it's really tough opposition they face, with Komura and Sonoda playing better than I've seen them play ever.
I thought when they beat the other Danish pair, Bo and Morgensen, in the final of the Hong Kong Open last year, I thought they were playing very sharp badminton. But I agree with you. I thought yesterday was probably, you know, the best, both of them playing well together. Now that's a lovely shot.
Service over.
Got to take those chances when you can.
Yeah.
In he goes.
Plays with a little angle away from the body of both Sonoda and Komura. And that's a big part of the key to a Danish comeback here. And we have to remember that even though the Japanese pair have qualified, they're not assured of a group win. To be assured of that, they have to win the match.
And the winners of both groups throughout this competition are opposite ends of the semi-final knockout draw. And we know that in Group B, it's the current world champions Liu Cheng and Zhang Nan who've won the group.
15.
So if you want to avoid them in the semi-final stage, you've got to win this Group A. Oh, that's great judgment.
Service over.
Yeah, calm down, says Coach
15
Maliki.
Play. Sixteen. 15.
He blocks a little bit too late. Mads Kolding, he thinks there's a chance, but in fact, the chance is very, very small of beating Komura in the flat game. Sonoda in the flat game.
Yeah, well worked.
Service over.
Gerne have variation på serven. Hvis ikke, så træder du længere skridt tilbage, Conor. Fordi det kommer med tryk.
Perfect play by Mads Conrad.
Service over. 17-16. Service over.
Yeah, now that's a bit more passion.
17-all.
Little Scully. His reaction after the rally.
Fantastic pace there by Kamura and Sonoda. They're so good at following up, backing each other up, playing like a team, or here in this case like a pair.
Yeah.
And that makes it more than two individual players. 1 + 1 becomes more than 2. As Conrad has played really well in this second game here.
18-all.
That block.
And the follow-up.
Yeah.
Because if he blocks and moves forward, it basically forces the opponents to lift it.
Yeah.
All. Oh, he's pushed it wide. Yeah.
Service over.
Frustration boiling over there.
Thank you. Nineteen, 18. Play, please. Service over.
Yeah, again.
Peterson.
Conrad
Peterson.
playing well. He is very proactive at the front of the courts.
He is, and he needs to be.
Good defense. The defensive shot from Takashi Kamura, turning the whole momentum of the rally.
20.
He was hesitating there,
Match
as Conrad.
point,
He was
19.
tempted to leave it.
Match point opportunity for Kamura and Sonoda.
Play.
Straight games for Takashi Kamura and Keigo Sonoda. Beaten finalists a year ago. 3 matches played, 3 matches won. So they top the group
Match won
Their
by
confirmation
Takashi Kamura,
of the
Keigo
scoreline,
Sonoda.
21-9,
21-19.
in a match lasting a total of 39 minutes. Well, very relieved about that. But my goodness, they have played well all 3 days. Kamura and Sonoda. So they're definitely through to the semi-final. And they will be the opposite end of the semi-finals draw to the current world champions, Liu Cheng and Zhang Nan.
Yes. やりました。
So 2-game victory means that they've played 3, won 3, and all of their matches in 2 straight games. So obviously they top the group. Gideon and Sukamuljo play against the Chinese pair a little later this afternoon. Well, next up is women's singles, and it happens to be a repeat of last year's final, also a repeat of the final in 2014. It is the current world #1, Tai Tzu-Ying, up against Sung Ji-hyun of Korea. So after that, we'll have more men's doubles, men's singles, women's singles, and men's singles as well. It's all very complicated here as to who's going to qualify. But one thing we know for certain is it won't be either of these two, because the defending champion, Tai Tzu-Ying, against Sung Ji-hyun, because Chen Yufei has won earlier today, it means neither of these players can actually qualify for the semi-final stage. So the defending champion is out. There you can see in the top of the table there, Chen Yufei, the World Championship bronze medalist. She has definitely